Welcome, 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 everybody, to Intuitive Minds. I already know it's TT here. We have a really cool topic tonight. The topic is mistake. I don't think we've addressed that yet. We're going to do the energy. We're going to use the deck that I created. And the first thing I want to do right off the bat, because I've been MIA. You know, life has been happening. Life has been happening. Excuse me. I did not bring my water in. Life has been happening around us, in front of us, next to us, and behind us. Hello, Carrie. And so I've just been, I've been busy. So if you are new, hello, stay here. There's a lot of tidbits that you'll take home with you. And if you make it through the whole thing, that's great. Usually my viewers don't. But if you do stick around, anytime you watch it, whether you watch it for, hello, Cody, anytime you watch it for whether it's 3 minutes or the 30 minutes or the full duration, you were meant to start watching it then. And you were meant to watch it however long you watched it for. So if you don't watch it for the whole time, I am not offended, because there's a lot of information. And sometimes we're geared towards the information that we need. And then the rest, just goes back into collective. So the first thing I want to do, hello, Angela. Hello, Cody. And Cajun Reds. So if you comment on here, free reading, your name goes into a drawing. And at the end of the month, which I'm a little late because this is for April, but we'll probably do the drawing now for the end of June. So that there's actually people that will win. But this was for April, so I'm going to pull the name for April. So I think there's 4 pieces of paper in here. All right. The lucky winner is Sandy Reen. Congratulations, Sandy, on your free reading. So contact me. We can either do it in person if you're local, or I can do remote. A couple different ways I can do it. So congratulations. Let's give her a hand. She's been watching. Yay. Okay. We're going to pull from hopefully 2 decks tonight. We're going to pull from, of course, my deck, which is the deck Words to Live By, the deck that I made. All my blood, sweat, and tears. And then one of my favorites that I've really been going to lately is this one. All right. So first thing we're going to do is, I don't think we did this on the last YouTube live. Oh, that's another thing. So if you'd like to watch it on YouTube, I will be uploading the video to YouTube probably this weekend, for sure by next week. So if you prefer to wait and watch it on your YouTube platform, some people just like the way that it streams or whatever, go for it. Facebook is deleting videos after 30 days. So after 30 days, you will not be able to watch this video. So that's why I'm uploading everything to the YouTube channel. YouTube channel is the same name. Intuitive Minds already know. If you like the deck, go to Etsy. Etsy page is Intuitive Minds Know, because Intuitive Minds already know was taken. All right. I'm going to slower my voice down. We're going to tap into our energy, all right? So if you have essential oil or some lotion, if you're new to this, just follow along. If you don't want to do it, fine. But it's a great tool to use when you want to slow down your nervous system and just kind of get more relaxed and into like a reflective state of mind. All right, so I put essential oil on. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Oh, my shoulders really dropped that time. Hold it. Feel them drop a little more. All right. Get them hands going. Ooh, I had a little nap earlier, so I could feel that I knew that my energy was a little depleted. So I took a little nap earlier, and I can feel my hands are hotter tonight. So I think I refueled. So I feel pretty good about tonight's live. All right. Once you got it nice and hot, you pull it apart and you kind of play with it. Can you feel that? Can you feel that rubber band sensation? There's no right or wrong sensation to feel, but the typical sensation is like a pulling, like a tugging, and I feel it in my fingertips and in the bottom of the palms, but there is no wrong or right way. You can feel it anywhere. Just embrace where you feel it. Just accept it. Whatever it is, just go with that. Now, my energy seems to be bigger out here. That's just because I got big energy. Sorry, curse and a blessing. But play with it a little bit. Oh, there it is. So when I want to feel my energy more intense, I have to kind of like go faster with it. Otherwise, I have to go way out here if I'm going to do it slow. That's just me. So feel it. And this week has been a really weird week. I forgot to look at the moon phase, if it was a new moon, or I know it's not a full moon. And it's been so freaking cloudy. But I've been really tired this week. So I think my nervous system has been really trying to regulate itself. So what I want you guys to do is focus on one thing that you would like to get rid of. So we're going to put that in our bubble. So imagine this is your energy, you own it, and this is a sacred space for your energy. So we're going to manifest, we're going to be grateful for something, and then we're going to get rid of something. So think about something that you want to get rid of, whether it's a thought, whether it's a sensation, a feeling, a pain. And then we want to be grateful for something. So think of something that you're grateful. I am grateful for all of you that are watching, because if I didn't have watchers, nobody would be seeing this. And I love all my viewers, and I've got some new ones in the last month, so that's great. I think we're up to like it's either in the 550s or 560s. I forgot to look. All right, and then we're going to ask for something. So also, part of manifesting is imagining and kind of tapping into how you want to feel with that thing. So whether it's like the dream house or your dream job or more abundance or a trip or anything. It could be, it could be better relationship with someone. It could be better grades if you're students. It could be, better weather. I don't know. Just ask for something. The sky's the limit. But the part of manifesting where the magic happens is to imagine how you want to feel or how you would feel if you had that. And imagine that you already have that. And then let that, hello Amanda, and then let that feeling kind of absorb. And put that feeling in your ball. Everything is here. Like this is our sacred ball. We are creating our own reality right here in this moment. In this moment. All right. Stop talking. So put it in there. All right. Once you got it all in there, those three things, what you're getting rid of, what you want to manifest, and what you're grateful for, then I just kind of like to go, I just kind of like put it up. Oh, I can feel that in my palms. And I just like give it to the universe, give it to God, Gaia, Source, whatever you like to call it. I love doing that. I like doing that. I need to do that more often. like outside of this live. All right. All right. All right. So how's everybody doing? Comment on here how your week has been. One word. Mine has been sleepy. I'm tired this week. I'm tired this week. I've been staying up a little late and sleeping in a little bit longer than I want to. I haven't been getting up at my normal time. All right. So I subscribe to this lady. I think it's called, I don't even know what it's called. It says in my email. It's like Amazing Astrology, Awakening Astrology or something. And for the past 2 weeks, I've been scrolling to the very bottom of the email. And I don't know why the lady is putting this at the bottom of the email, because it's too awesome. She should be putting it at the top of the email. But it's called Cosmic Musings. Musings? Yeah. Anyways, and she just writes a story. And they have, whatever the story is, they've been like really hitting home. And I knew I was going to go live. And so this was like from this morning. So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to talk about it, and then we're going to pull cards, and we're going to do like stacked cards tonight. So stacked cards is where each card progresses and adds to the information and the detail of the messages. Okay. All right. So this is not from me. This is from her. Lately, I've been sitting with the word mistake. We tend to carry it with heaviness, as if a mistake is a failure, a wrong turn, a sign we weren't good enough. What if a mistake is not a misstep, but a reflection, a moment where life gently, or not so gently, shows us where our desires misalign with our truth? A moment where life gently, or not so gently, shows us where our desires misalign with our truth. I'm going to underline that. There's something ironic, almost poetic in how we learn. We try something, we stumble, we get hurt. We call it error. But what if the so-called error is the compass itself? What if it's the one pointing you toward what really matters? In this light, every experience becomes a map, especially the painful ones. They show us what we value. They show us what we're craving. They reveal the edges of what we've outgrown, and the quiet voice inside that keeps whispering, there's more for you. And yes, sometimes more means letting go of illusions, letting go of identities we wore to feel safe, of relationships that no longer reflect who we're becoming. That can feel like loss, but it's actually making of space. Under Pisces, the moon is in Pisces, we're invited to surrender the plan and listen instead, to trust that this process of trial is sacred, that you are not lost. You are listening. You are becoming, and the universe is always, always speaking. You just have to slow down enough to hear it. I really resonate with the way that she articulates her words, because this is like how I write. It's almost like I wrote it, because like they're very similar. So comment on here like what word or what phrase is really landing for you right now. Because like that first one, where our desires misalign with our truth. And then where was that? Oh, that can feel like loss, but it's actually a making of space. So when we let go of stuff, we make room for more stuff that is better aligned. All right. And with the word mistake, I'm going to go off on how I want this reading to go, and I'm going to add in the word like coincidence. In a spiritual lifestyle, you will slowly learn that as you embrace and grasp and go through your shit, like it'll be harder and harder to deny that there is no coincidence. There is absolutely no coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. You are here watching for a reason. If you watch it for 3 minutes or 3 seconds or the whole duration, that is for the reason. So we are all connected. When you pop into that person unexpectedly, that is for a reason. When you get a flat tire and you're late for work, that is for a reason. Sometimes it might not be obvious, but Spirit loves to work in the background. Loves to work in the background. So if you practice your intuition and you admit that there are no coincidences, you can kind of fishtail around and get through Spirit and go, okay, I see it now. Thank you. I needed that. So I want to pull cards, and I command the messages to come forward to help us expand on this topic of mistake and why it's really important to change your mindset from when something happens that it's negative. I like to use the word unhelpful because, and even then, if something negative is unhelpful, chances are, like we're talking about this, it happened for a reason. So eventually it will be helpful. It might seem unhelpful in the moment and at that time because of the way that you're looking at it, because you're in a reactive state, typically. But like I said, if we can navigate around it and see why it happened and look back and slow down, reflect, then we have more clarity. So the cards are going to reveal, how do we do that? How can we do that? How can we work harder at realizing that there are no mistakes and that they happen for a reason? Okay? That's the question. So I'm going to pull 5 cards. All right. So the first card is Journey. And I already know, I'm already getting my feelers on that one. The second one is Intention. The third one is Emotions. The fourth one is Balance. And the last one is Fearless. All right. What do you want to say, Spirit? So how do we get into that mindset where there are no mistakes? Okay, well, it's a journey. It's a journey. Oh, and so, okay. Every time I use this deck, it's amazing because there's little things that come out that I didn't notice before. So Spirit is telling me that, it takes all the bricks. You have to put it all together like a piece, like a puzzle. So, like I said before, if certain situations and certain things are happening in your life, and you're like, God, I just don't know why this is happening. And, all the little signs and synchronicities, okay? So synchronicities and signs are like the pieces of the puzzle. Not always just because we get that one day that's going to be like your epiphany. Sometimes you have to keep remembering them and embrace them and thank them. So if you thank them and you embrace them and you ask for them, guess what? You're going to get more. Careful what you wish for, all right? Spirit's going to give you exactly what you need. It's not going to be what you want necessarily, but it'll be what you need. So when you're manifesting, be specific. Be very specific. So these bricks here represent all the signs and the synchronicities and all the pieces that would be put in the puzzle for your journey to help you on your way, to get you where you need to go. Okay, intention. This is hello, Renee. Hello, Ken. And hello, John back. Hello, everybody that's watching. Keep watching. I love it. So this is a really close card to my heart because I try to put intention into everything that I do. It helps. It's part of how I ground, and I can usually feel when I haven't done that in a while because my energy will start to feel wonky. I'll feel almost like I'm getting sick or I'm tired. So I know like I said before, I was feeling tired this week. So I know that this live and doing what I need to do and doing my soul's purpose will like recharge my battery, okay? So I put intention into everything that I do. So how do we look beyond the mistake? Okay, everything has intention. Everything happens for a reason. You have to find yours. And I guess, no, they're telling me to look at the pencil. So here's a good one to practice with when like everything happens for a reason. Start writing them down. And over like, I don't know, if you're noticing that things start to happen more, start writing them down, like write the date, write the time. And if you can, try to journal like more details, like what kind of mood you were in. Was it the morning, night? Was it at work? You know, more details. And then I'm like drawn to the light bulb, and then they're like showing me like the epiphany will come. As you practice, the messages like will come. Oh, this is what that means. Okay, so stacking on that. Emotions. This one's stumping me. Nothing's coming forward right away, so. They're just telling me to like be aware of your emotions, because emotions they're like, getting the word road signs, but emotions are our body's way of telling us something needs to change, or something has happened and we need to slow down and let it come forward. That's why change doesn't happen with some, because if you repress your emotions, you are repressing the change. Change happens when there's letting go. Change happens when there's awareness. Change happens when there's acceptance. So if you're mad, get mad. Get mad in a constructive way. Do it where nobody's going to be affected by your rage, or if you break shit. And if you're going to cry and you need to release it that way, try to not like, I used to do this and it was just like word vomit, like, blah, this is how I feel and I want you to make me feel better. But that's not always the case. I have learned along my journey that I have to contain my own emotions and deal with them first before I go and I start expressing it to the person that I want to, or that maybe has triggered me, or that has said something that has offended me. And maybe it's just emotions. Maybe they're just energy. Like you haven't gotten the energy out. I was just talking to a friend and we talked about how adrenaline is just like, anxiety is just stuck adrenaline, because it's just energy, and we are a energetic vessel. We have all this like electricity and frequency in this wonderful skin suit, and it's designed to help us navigate through good times, bad times, to, you know, fight or flight. So when the ego is working overtime to protect us, sometimes it's overworking and leading us to believe that, oh, we're in danger. We're in danger. No, honey, you're not. You're just triggered and you're insecure and you're not dealing with your shit. So sometimes just a good old cry is going to help release some of that energy. I have noticed that when I'm kind of like feeling it, because I'll feel a little agitated, I'll feel a little angst, and I can't concentrate. That's been cueing me a lot. Like my ADD is just kind of like all over the place, and I'll feel it and I'll be like, oh, okay, it's time to take a bath tonight, and it's time to put on the meditation music, and it's time to get ready to cry because water is a conduit. And it just works for me. I can feel it right away, and that's what I do. So no repressing. That's going to help us with the change of the mindset. Fourth card is balance. So balance. Knowing when to react and when to not react. Knowing how to react. That's a hard one to learn. How to react and when to let shit go. Do we want to react right away? Do we want to say it? Do we want to scream it? Do we want to sit on it for a while? I have learned in my journey, because I'm very reactive, I'm very OCD, I'm very ADD, and I need like response right now, and I'm a fixer. I'm a Virgo and I'm a fixer. So I can spot what needs to be fixed and I want to fix it. That's my purpose. And so along the line, I had to learn that not everything needs to be reacted to right away or talked about right away or released right away. So my golden rule is 3 days. So if you have a conversation with someone and you don't have an outcome or a result, give it 3 days. Let the person let the dust settle, give it 3 days. If you're thinking about a decision and you journaled about it or you're thinking on it, you put it in the universe, you're waiting for an answer, 3 days. All right. So balance it out. Balance. We don't want to repress it, but we also don't want to be reactive. That's why, take the buffer. Take the 3-day buffer. These are all such good cards. And then the grand finale is fearless. So this is a very good, closing card to this spread, because, the word mistake has a very unhelpful connotation. Because when anybody says, "Oh, I made a mistake," it right away when you hear it come out of my mouth, comment on here what's the first word that you think of when I say, "Oh, you made a mistake," or "I made a mistake." Okay? You did something wrong. Okay? Not necessarily. It's just that what had happened maybe needed to happen so that we could see where we needed improvement. We're never really doing anything wrong. It's just that we haven't seen where we can improve and do it better. So it's like there's no coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. But we look at mistakes as failure, as, and it gives us kind of a low self-esteem about ourselves. And really it shouldn't. When mistakes are made, it should make us stop and think, okay, what could I have done differently to prevent this from happening next time? That's where the magic is. If you can actually embrace, okay, this happened. Okay, my partner just exploded at me for no reason, and then I wasn't sure of where they were at that day, and I thought it was about me, and so I reacted, but really they might have had a bad day. They might have had some not helpful news at work, and so they were possibly projecting because they didn't get their 3-day to process, and they took it out on you, and then you were, you got triggered, whatever. You didn't like what they yelled and screamed at you. So, you look at, how could I have done that differently? So you look at, okay, well, it was my problem. I shouldn't have reacted that way. I shouldn't have screamed at my partner. So now when something like that happens, I'm going to either let that person know that I'm not in the best of moods right now. So let's just, give me an hour or so, let me eat, let me have my dinner. And then what the other person should have done is been really been compassionate and give that person grace, because we don't know what they're going through. It's not always about us. It has 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with us. It's them projecting, deflecting, and not dealing with their shit. So, fearless. I'm going to read from the book. When we are young, we are fearless. We seek adventure and use our imaginations. We take risks and we fall down. We find joy in the simpler things. We question everything, and our parents were our heroes. Would you be willing to revisit your younger days in order to feel fearless again? Feel fearless. We need to reintroduce that young child to our adult self. Run through sprinklers, feel the grass between your toes, make mud pies and sandcastles, eat ice cream for breakfast, play hide and seek in the dark, build tents out of blankets, tell ghost stories by flashlights, jump in leaf piles, make snow angels, ride bike with no hands, climb trees and catch fireflies, stare at the stars and name all the clouds, take back your childhood and recapture your youth. Be fearless. So that, going back to how to look at mistakes in a positive way, is to not be scared of our mistakes, because they are just there for lessons. They are there to tell us that maybe we could have slowed down and thought about what we were doing and just took a different approach, like that one shift 1 degree. If we would have did this, this wouldn't have happened. So mistakes are not mistakes. They're just opportunities to learn and to grow and to change, all towards the greater good, all towards, tapping in and using that higher self energy. I'm going to pull one more card. How's everybody doing? If you're still on here, comment free reading, because your name will go in for a free reading. So comment on here if you're still reading. If you're still here, free reading. There's 3 eyes. So, lots. Comment. If you guys are on TikTok, I did a TikTok live last Friday, and I think I'm going to try to do it again. There wasn't a lot of viewers, but I did pull cards for this one girl. She was asking about her relationships. That was kind of cool, because she said I was spot on. And I just impromptu, on a whim, just decided to do it on TikTok. And on TikTok, I am also on the handle Intuitive Minds Already Know. Okay, so Spirit, let's have a closing card, and it doesn't have to be about the topic. So let's just pick a random card for the collective as a closing card. I must have talked fast, because normally this takes an hour. So, closing card for the collective for this extra long Memorial Day weekend. What can you tell us? Oh, it's such a pretty card. Bloom like a badass. And it's number 5. Oh, look at, there's a dragonfly. A couple different, there's a small one, a big one, and a bigger one. Okay, so this is how my brain works when I'm intuitively tapped in. So, if it looks, small, and it looks a little bigger, but that's just perception, because of the way that the light is hitting it in real life. Kind of like when in your car, your mirror in your car, what is that? The phrase, it's objects in mirror are closer than they appear. It's all perspective. I like that. The number 5, bloom like a badass. Bloom like a badass. So Spirit's showing me like all the different types of flowers that bloom many different times. There's some that early bloom. Like they'll even bloom. I know I had some tulips one year that bloomed and there was still snow on the ground. And then we have like the lilacs, which are, blooming right now. And then as the summer goes on, you have more and more flowers that bloom as it gets into that season. So it doesn't make them any less pretty because they're later bloomers. And I don't even want to use the word late because time is irrelevant. When they bloom is when they bloom. That's in their DNA. So, like, it just reminds me of, like, everybody's on a different path. And somebody right next to you could start out like the tortoise and the hare. They start out the same. But everybody's journey is different. And everybody has to go through different things at different speeds. And they have to experience it. And sometimes they have to experience, like, maybe you experienced it and you just kind of like, you just breezed through it, and now you're like waiting for them. And then maybe they have to experience it like really slow. Maybe they're, takes longer to process. And maybe they just don't get it the first time and they got to like experience it again and again and again and again. Sometimes it takes years for change to happen in someone, because each time that situation comes forward, you have to look at where that person is for alignment, where they are in their life. And sometimes they're not aligned to change until maybe like the 5th or 6th time that this happens, where they go, oh, it's because of alignment. The universe knows. The universe knows. And you can't fight alignment. Like, you can raise your vibration and you can do all the things, but irregardless, Spirit is going to give you what you are meant to have, what you deserve. So that's why we dream big. That's why we manifest big, because eventually, we want to have that big picture and we think that it's never going to happen. But sometimes our dreams are, if we don't dream big enough, we have to dream big enough. We have to dream bigger than ourselves, because that way we are imagining and we're manifesting that anything's possible. Anything is possible. So if you dream big, you have like, the universe has like, what's the word I want to say? It has no choice. It has no choice but to meet, what you manifested. All right, let's read from the book. A lotus's home is in the mud. Did you guys know that? It grows from the muck. Your life force, too, often grows out of the muck of circumstances, trauma, despair. Don't curse the mud of your experience. It's growing the petaled fragrance of your flowered life beneath the surface. Don't curse this moment. Choose it. Claim it as a benefactress, a holding space for your future unfolding. The lotus does not allow the dirt that surrounds it to affect its growth. Persist, you lovely thing. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's a perfect ending to what we talked about, how to redirect your brain and your thought pattern to think that mistakes are not bad. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. All right, comment on here. Free reading. So your name will go in. Next week, I will be going live on YouTube. And if I do the live on YouTube, it can go and I'll usually upload it to Facebook. And if I do it here on Facebook, I'll usually upload it to YouTube. So next week we will be coming at you live from YouTube. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want me to pull a card specifically for them? If anybody's watching, I'll hang out a little bit. Anybody? Anybody who's watching? Does anybody want me to pull a private card, not a private card, but a card specifically for them? No? No? I'll shuffle a little longer. I'll wait one more minute and then we'll close it. If you don't want the free reading, just comment on here what tidbits you took away. I like doing these random ones because they usually come out pretty good. Renee is watching. I see that. There's 4. If anybody wants a card pulled, because we're done here, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes, maybe one more minute. Maybe not. I don't see anybody commenting. Remember to comment on here, free reading. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment on there too, because I do get notifications when you comment on YouTube. I'm going to shuffle one more minute until somebody wants a card specifically drawn for them. Everybody be extra safe out there this weekend. There's going to be extra traffic, extra people having extra cocktails. So just be mindful of your surroundings. Slow down a little bit. You're not going to get there any faster by going faster. You're really not. All right, folks, I'm going to close it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next week on YouTube. Good night, y'all. Love you.